Welcome to another one, like no other one. It's another episode of got it out the mud. I'm gonna get straight to the point, man. We got that boy Clifton Powell, man. I'm talking about a lot of stuff right now on Art of Dialogue. Shout out to them for the content. This is my first time watching it. I'm gonna watch it with y'all. Let's go. Let's get into it.
And speaking of that, right, I want to backtrack to your comments about skin tone. I heard that she was up for a big role in a big TV movie, but you didn't get the role because of your skin tone? The Rudy Bridges story?
Well, basically, what happened was the producers told the director, whose name was Usan Palsy, that I was so dark that it looked like I would scare everyone. So they wouldn't hire me. And that's what happened on that. I haven't spoken on it, but I'm going to put it in my book. And basically, that's what happened. So her, who's African and French, and a white producer whose name I can't remember, said,
So wait, hold on. They said that you were so dark that you was gonna scare the people. That's crazy, bro. That's racist as hell. Like, how you? What you mean you so dark? Like that was a crazy little comment he just said.
Mr. Powell, you are our first choice. If you don't get this role, it's not because we didn't fight for you. But that's happened to me on a McDonald's commercial. One of my friends was the producer and the agency, and the agency thought I was just too dark. You got to understand. I tell people, like I told my panel last night, there was an article years ago, I'm not sure if it was in Esquire magazine, that talked about Black Hollywood, white Hollywood. And there's an article in there by Wesley Snipes, white agent from CAA, that sent Wesley in for a role. And this is documented. And they called him and said, don't send anybody darker than Denzel. Racism permeates, and it's not the same anymore, because we've seen, really dark-skinned actresses and dark.
Or they say don't say anybody darker than Denzel. Like damn, Denzel is like my color, bro. So the fact that y'all don't want nobody like anybody near dark is crazy. He's speaking on back in the days, but that's still kind of wild. And the Karen when he talking about right now, that was Karen about he talking about they was gonna scare him. But even with he couldn't even get a McDonald's commercial, which is crazy. How you can't get a McDonald's commercial? Like I'm loving it. He was too dark for a McDonald's commercial. That's crazy. That is crazy though. But y'all got Pusha T singing the McDonald's anthem. It was something like that. I think Pusha T still owned that song. So how y'all got a dark skinned guy? I guess that made the song, but y'all can't have a face of McDonald's dark. It's kind of crazy. But let's go. Let's see what's going
But you got to understand, if Obama was my complexion, he wouldn't have been president. You know what I'm saying? I still get followed around stores. I mean, I ride first class. I was in first class one time, and this guy kicked my seat. And I stood up and I said, would you have kicked my seat if I was a white boy? Because there's all kinds of different people in the world that like, what is this doing flying first class with us up here?
on. You got a point.
I'm like, I make more money than all of y'all in first class. So you got to understand, still people like that in the world. It's people like that in this business. I did a TV series, which I am not going to say, but some of the Teamsters were Klan members. This is real. It's real. I don't take any shit from anybody that's.
Wait, he just said that he did a show with Klan members. That's crazy. So the fact that you just got thick skin that you can walk in the building and still do your job professionally, man. That's a true man though. Like for real, like in business oriented, like and not caring about what's going on in all the politics. You still want to work. Shout out to Clifton Powell, bro.
Or anything, period. And I can tell you a billion stories, and I'm never going to take it. Period. I encountered some racism on New York Undercover, and the sound man, he was trying to put the mic in my hair. I had a scarf. I was playing this little thug guy, and I had a head wrap like Tupac used to wear. And I told the sound guy, I said, "Sir, I don't want to run the wire up in my hair because I'm going to be rolling on the ground." Maybe I was being a little overprotective, but I could choke. Freak accidents happen in this business all the time. There was a girl, let me tell you this story, on Vampire in Brooklyn, black stunt lady jumping off a building. Her first jump was successful. Her family was there. The second jump, somebody adjusted the mat. Go look this story up. She jumped, hit the mat, and bounced into the wall and died instantly. Yeah. So as I was talking to the sound man, now on a lot of the African American shows back in the day, all the writers, producers were white. You may have one or two black folks there. I don't deal with racism very well because I grew up in Washington, D.C., and I grew up with good white folks and a million black people. So it's one of my triggers. So I told the sound guy, I said, I don't want to put the wire in my hair. So he turned to me and looked me in my eye. He said, I tell you what, then, why don't you do your sound in post? You know what that means?
No, I don't. No, sir.
What that means is, why don't you do the show while you're here this week, and then you let them fly you back in and then put your sound in. I said, no problem. So I called the first AD, and I said, I think your sound man is a racist. He said, well, what happened, Mr. Powell? I said, well, I was telling him I wanted to put the mic either on my leg or behind my back and put the wire up in my shirt somewhere. And he told me to do mine in post. So he said, don't worry, I'll talk to him, Mr. Powell. So I assumed that he talked to him. I got back after lunch. I had to go to sound, same sound guy. I said, sir, like I said before, I don't want to put the wire in my hair. And then he said, what did I tell you? He might have said, boy. He said, boy, what did I tell you before? And I stepped back and I said, let me tell you.
When somebody call you out, boy, especially, let me tell y'all, man, especially when you black boy, somebody, and you know that somebody like they your superior, they call you a boy. Anybody call you a boy, I ain't gonna lie, man. Anybody just call you a boy, it just give you like a, all right, you know what I'm saying? Look, they call me boy. Hold on, keep going.
Bro, I will knock the fuck out of you on this set. And any one of you white boys got a problem.
Hold on, Clifton Powell went from 0 to 100 real quick. He said, "I knock one of you white boys out in a second." Bro, he tripping right now on set right now. Let's keep playing the video.
I'll fight every one of you motherfuckers. Period. And I went to my trailer and I called my manager and I said, I'm leaving. She said, what's the problem? And I said, what the problem? She said, well, Cliff, you're in New York. I said, I don't give a where I am.
He said, I'll give where I'm where I'm at. It don't matter where I'm at. I'm going to still pop it. Hey, man, Clifton Powell, that I know he had. Just from the roads, I'm not going to say that I know he ain't about that, but for sure, I can tell by the roads, man, he ain't finna play with you, though. But, man, shout out to Clifton Powell for just holding it down, man, and keeping his morals, bro. Let's keep playing the video.
The producer called me. He said, what is the problem? I said, this is the problem. Your sound man is a racist. He told me to do my sound in post. I said, so this is what I'm prepared to do. I'm prepared to give you back your hotel money, your flight money, and I'm flying out as soon as I get out of.
Damn. He said, I'm about to give you back my flight money, all the money. You can take all this money back. I'm up out of here. Shout out to Clifton Powell, man, for this holding his morals down and basically keeping his morals together, man. Man, shout out to Clifton Powell, man. He's somebody to get all your money back. Y'all can have all this shit. I'm about to leave.
Trailer. He says, Mr. Powell, give me a minute and we'll get you right, because I had the wrong trailer. They put me in a honey wagon. SAG regulates this. So I'm supposed to get everything I'm supposed to get as per SAG. The next day I had a brand new trailer and nobody in the crew talked to me. I did my week and I left. Dr. King said, a man can't ride your back unless it's bent. Period. And that's how I approach it.
A man can't ride your back unless it's bent. Shout out to Martin Luther King for that message, man. That's a strong message. I mean, like, you only gonna allow what you're gonna only allow so many words, man. Like, basically, what he's trying to say, if you want to get fucked over in this industry, you'll get fucked over. But if you gonna stand on all 10 toes with your chest out, stay with your chest out, and really just don't fold for nobody, bro. That's a strong message, bro.
I try to be amiable. I try to be cool, but I'm also a young man that has worked his ass off to get everything I have. I try to be pleasant. I don't believe in any of the isms, but you're not gonna punk me. It's never gonna happen. I will die first. And that's just how
He's standing on business. Clifton Powell standing on business. Say, you're not gonna punk me. I'd rather die before anything, death before dishonor, boy. You feel me?
And if people are listening, please try to understand. It's a lot of sexism in this business. It's still a lot of racism, much better than it was. And I'm not going to bash Hollywood because Hollywood is a microcosm of what's going on in the world right now. I'm just not that guy. And I'm never going to be that guy. And so I've lost work because of it. I've been fired because of it. I've walked off of sets because of it. And that's just the way it's going to be. And that's how I operate. And I'm not bragging.
I don't think you bragging either, bro. I just feel like you just standing on your morals and you standing on all 10 toes. Now I feel like there's a lot of people that will bend and break their rules just to make Hollywood happy, or just to get a role, or just to get some money in your pocket, just to be relevant. The fact that you don't care, that you're not relevant. I mean, I ain't gonna, you very relevant. The fact that you don't care that you have a recent role, or you know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna say you don't care, but you're fine with being yourself than trying to be in the Hollywood light. Let's keep going.
I'm not boasting. I just try to come to work and do my job. Period. I had a McDonald's commercial. There's two black. Simon, the guy wanted me to be a coon. It's the same. Being a coon and being blocked is the same thing to me. You know, when they fire you, because if it's not like I sat down and tried to talk to this guy about Harlem. He never heard of Harlem, really. I said, do you know you want me to make fun of Harlem, which historically is one of the most exclusive African-American enclaves in the world, where black entertainers couldn't go downtown, so they had to stay in Harlem, Central Avenue in Los Angeles.
Man, hey, I feel like, man, Clifton Powell never gave a damn about just telling somebody, just keeping it real, keeping it authentic. You know what I'm saying? Not saying not giving it down, but he seemed like he was very calculated. I'm saying we need to say somebody like, and he not afraid to say whatever he got to say. He gonna speak up. And basically, they wanted him to clown Harlem. He basically schooling the director, but just saying, look, man, anything want to clown this, that, and the third for my heritage? Yeah, man, he popping it on this one. He's showing out.
They used to, you have the black hotels. The black entertainers couldn't go to the white places, so they had to stay in Central Avenue. And then they came in and tore Central Avenue apart. You know, I'm not going to make fun of Harlem. Harlem may not look like the Harlem of yesteryear, but Harlem has a lot of historical references and history. And then I did the Langston Hughes poem. I said, have you dug the spill of Sugar Hill? Cast your gems on the sepia thrill. Brown sugar lassie, caramel treat, honey gold baby. That's Langston Hughes talking about Harlem. And you want me as a woke black man to come on your show and make fun of Harlem? I'm not doing that. And I walked off. You know, so, you know, I'm sure I've lost other jobs because they thought I might have been too strong or too masculine. I don't know. I don't spend a lot of time analyzing. I just know what I'm going to do. And I don't want to come across like I'm a gangster or a thug. I'm just a real man who stands up for his rights. That's what I am. And I'm always going to be that way.
Hey, man, damn, drop the mic on that. Now, I just feel like I said it personally, man. It seemed like he had to get a lot off on his chest about this one right here. Like basically, he just said in a nutshell, Hollywood is weird. Not saying everybody. He feel like he said he appreciates the business. It's getting better as far as the racism, but as far as him just losing a lot of roles, he done lost a lot of roles just for standing on his ground, basically, and not folding. Basically, he not saying that like he said again. He not trying to come off on a gangster or a thug, but he just standing on his word and standing on business. Can't get mad at a man about that, man. Shout out to Clifton Powell. That was like one of my childhood, basically not role models, but basically childhood. I used to watch him act a lot of Dead Presidents. Um, he had what was that movie called up in New Orleans? He did one with the Block Party. He was a security. He did Friday After Next, and that dude did a lot of movies, dog. I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of classic movies, man. Shout out to Clifton Powell. Even with that 50 Cent movie, I can't think of it right now. Though 50 Cent did a movie with him as well, though. But he got a list of movies, man. But hear that and hear that say, man. But yeah, man, this is another episode of welcome to another one, like no other one. This is another episode of got it out the mud. Here we go.
Hey, man, y'all niggas stop pillow talking to these bitches, man. That ass serious. That shit lame as fuck. Now they ain't gonna lie. You think that shit cool. She really thinking like, this nigga lame as hell. Pillow talking about the whole game. Hey, man, all she gonna do is take what you gave her, use that shit against you, tell the whole game, then they on your head. I'm just a messenger. Don't shoot me, but stop pillow talking, man. Send this video to somebody. God damn.